Hey, grade 10s. So today we are going to start looking at chapter 9 technically and focus on plants. So we're going to start off by looking at specialized and organized. So why do larger organisms have to be multi-celled? We know that there are single-celled organisms, and specialization occurs in those organisms at the level of the organelle. But in multicellular organisms, you need more cells because we know that if the cell size gets too big, our surface area and volume ratio decreases and materials can't get in and out of the cell like they need to. So they become multicellular. Different cells become specialized to perform specific tasks. The organism actually must be organized within itself. So you have organelles, then to cell, tissue, organ, then system. Even if you think about how the human body works, we have red blood cells. They then have cardiac muscle tissue. The organ would be your heart, and the system is your circulatory system. So those all connect and are actually organized. So we're going to look at plants specifically. So what is a leaf's job? I am hoping you can tell me that its job is to harness sun's energy to produce food for the plant, aka photosynthesis. We know in order for photosynthesis to work, you need sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, and it produces oxygen and glucose. This is the leaf's main job. We do know that plants also do undergo cellular respiration when needed to, and they cannot undergo photosynthesis. So they actually have mitochondria that take the glucose and the oxygen that is stored within the plant and reverse it. But the main is take these three guys in, and these guys come out. All right, so we need to know our photosynthesis equation, which is water plus carbon dioxide. We usually put sunlight in there. I'm not going to worry about nutrients. And then our typical is glucose, which is C6H12O6, and oxygen. This photosynthesis actually occurs in marine life just as much as it actually applies to our terrestrial life, which we actually first think about when it comes to plant life. All right, so I actually am going to include this diagram or a blank diagram similar to this of the cross-section of the leaf. So if you want to fill it in and print it, feel free to do so. You should be able to, at the end of this lesson, be able to identify these parts here, and these parts here in the stoma, and explain what their purpose is in the leaf. So if we look at the leaf in detail, the first part we're going to look at is the cuticle. So this is like a little waxy, almost looks like plastic wrap on top of the leaf. It is the waxy coating. We actually notice it kind of often looks shiny if you look at a leaf closely. Its job is to protect the leaf from water loss. Now underneath that is the epidermis. It is transparent, and the reason it's transparent is to allow light to pass through to the underlying layer, which collects our sunlight for photosynthesis to occur. All right, the palisade cells. So these guys are right here. These guys right here. They're the main cells for photosynthesis. Not the only, but the main ones. They contain a lot of chloroplasts, and we know chloroplasts, have chlorophyll in them, in a green leaf specifically, and their job is to collect that sunlight. And once you collect that sunlight, your photosynthesis can occur. Okay. So far we have the cuticle, that waxy layer. We have your epidermis, which is right here. and then you have your palisade. All right, so now we have your vascular bundle, and this image is a little different. I'm going to give you another one, but your vascular bundle actually is a vein. Okay, its job is to transport tissues into highways throughout the leaf. So what does that mean? Okay, the xylem transports water. We actually learned this in grade 7. Water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. It is, you can see your vascular bundle right here. Okay. It has the xylem and the phloem within it. So the xylem's job is water. The phloem's job is to take all that food, aka the sugar that has been made in photosynthesis, and take it to the rest of the plant. So your xylem takes the water minerals up, and the phloem takes everything where is required in the plant for food. All right, so here is like a cross section of what the xylem and phloem look like. This would be under a microscope. So here is your phloem right here, okay, and your xylem is right here. So now we have our spongy mesophyll. So basically this is the right underneath your palisade. This has a lot of air pockets in it. That's why we think about it like spongy. You can actually see the air pockets kind of in here. Photosynthesis does occur in here. It's just not the main part where photosynthesis occurs. It does contain chloroplast, which is why it can actually carry out photosynthesis. But it has a spongy air pocket space thing occurring within it. And the reason it does is because this structure actually also helps with water and gas exchange. Okay. And then you have your stomata. This is something you also learned in grade 7. These are your openings, aka the holes that allow your gas exchange to occur. So it allows gases in and out. So when we're dealing with photosynthesis specifically, it's going to want to take carbon dioxide in. So the stomata is going to open carbon dioxide. Here's your stomata right here. There's an open guy. Carbon dioxide is going to go in there. And then it is going to go into your spongy mesophyll and possibly into your palisade. And then it can actually have photosynthesis occur. As photosynthesis happens, oxygen is going to be produced. It needs to get let out of the cell. So it is going to go through the stomata to open, get rid of there, and it's also going to allow water out. Okay? Within or right nearby, essentially, your stomata are your guard cells. You can kind of see them right there. Okay. The guard cells is what actually does the opening and closing for the stomata. The stomata is just the hole. The guard cells do the job of opening and closing it. Right? So in detail, they regulate the size because they open and close it. So the shape of the guard cells change to open or close. So this is an open stomata, and this is a closed stomata. So you can obviously see you've got a nice pocket there to allow gas exchange, water, carbon dioxide, oxygen in or out as needed. And this is a microscope version. This is a closed stomata. This is an open one. So you can see that pocket again, allow gas exchange. Okay. And if you think about it, why are most stomata on the underside of the leaf? Okay, you're allowing easy access, okay, for that oxygen to be released. You're also getting the most contact of sunshine at the top, so you don't want to lose too much water either. Okay, and that is it for the leaf. So little reminder, you should be able to identify The cuticle, the epidermis, there is a lower epidermis. It's the exact same type of cells. It's just basically the, I think about it like the bread on the sandwich, the bread of your sandwich. You got a top and a bottom. So your epidermis, lower, upper, lower. You have your palisade. You have your spongy mesophyll. You have your vein. Your vein is made out of your xylem and your phloem. Okay, your xylem and phloem's inside your vein. Then you have your guard cells, and the guard cells open and close your stomata. Okay. We are going to talk more about gas exchange and fluid transport in our next couple lessons. Bye, guys.